What's going on, people? Ras out here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast, you guys. You already know I be thinking some deep thoughts. Sometimes they're shower thoughts, sometimes they're toilet thoughts. But really, I just be contemplating a lot on the regular. I mean, I really like thinking about the way people feel about life, the way people go on about their lives. It's been like an obsession of mine since I was little, trying to figure out why the hell people do what they do, what motivates them, what drives them to make the decisions that they make, knowing full well if it's going to end up well or not, they're still going to do what they want to do. So it's been interesting, definitely. And I gotta say, I'm not the best at it because I tend to fall back into old patterns as well. I think I heard Inky Johnson say something about the fact that if you don't rise to the occasion, you fall into old patterns instead of fall into old training, something to that effect. Anyway, so I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to talk about it because I've been looking at my nutrition lately. So it's very, very convenient to buy things in a box, buy things in a can, buy things from outside. And because I don't control any of the ingredients that go into it, I don't control how it's processed, how it's cleaned, how it's cooked, chances are it's gonna fuck up my stomach. So a while back when I was dealing with a lot of really bad cystic acne, I'm like in my 30s, why am I dealing with acne at all? So I was trying to figure it out. Everyone's like, oh my God, topical creams, go for facials, do this, do that. And I'm thinking, nah, it's gotta be more than that because yeah, I can clean the surface, but for some reason they are like so deep down in my skin, I'd have to like drill my way to where they are to get them. It was so painful, you guys. I don't even know if you understand what I'm talking about. Like my face would be in pain and I can't even get to whatever it is that's causing all of this like tension just under the surface. Anyway, so trying to figure all that out, and I realized, hey, I probably should fix my digestion because at the time, as nasty as it sounds, I maybe went to the bathroom once a week. I mean, I'm not talking about peeing, obviously, but that's not good for your digestion considering I don't know how many pounds of food you eat in a week. All of that should come out at some point, right? So no, it was sitting in my gut. It's like festering. My face is festering as a result. And I realized I needed to fix a lot. But here is the problem. I fixed everything. I did. My skin was glowing. I had really great digestion. I felt like I had a lot more energy. I was eating better. So what I ended up doing was cooking everything that I eat. And then I cook in bulk, so I don't have to cook all the time because, you get bored trying to figure out what to cook next. So I would cook ahead of time, make sure that I had plenty available for me to eat. I had to try and find new choices. My taste buds changed as a result because I was eating more fresh fruit and vegetables and drinking way more water. I stayed away from juice for the most part, but sometimes I would add in smoothies. So the probiotic that I would get from Greek yogurt rather than regular yogurt was actually way more effective on my stomach and my digestive system, mostly because there's less lactose in Greek yogurt, and I'm just not lactose tolerant at all. So I had fixed everything. My face was glowing. My skin had, plumped up a little bit. I didn't have as many wrinkles. I looked younger. I like reversed my aging process. I was Benjamin buttoning the whole damn thing, and I felt pretty damn great. And then invited somebody who was having a lot of trouble in their lives to come live with us, and what ends up happening is I need to be able to accommodate how they eat. And at the same time, my mom came back, my uncle came back, people were in the house, whereas before it was just me and baby girl, and we could like eat whatever the fuck we wanted. So we changed, we adjusted, we adapted, we accommodated, we made space for these people. And as much as I would like to say that, it was great, it wasn't that great on my digestion because I can't force anyone to eat the way that I eat, but I also need to be able to fund the way I eat plus the way they eat. So guess what? Funding was kind of low. I kind of reverted to old training and did what was convenient. So I started buying stuff in a can and buying stuff in a box and making lots of fiery food and not eating as much fruit and vegetable, which is my fault. I really could have, but I didn't. And here's what I realized. What I was actually doing in essence was destroying my body all over again after I'd taken the time to heal it. Not good, right? But people do it all the time. I remember when I first was introduced to Dr. Sebi, one of my friends pre was like, yo, you know what? This doctor that I really look up to just recently passed away. It doesn't make any sense because he caught pneumonia and this man was like, I don't know, immunity on infinity. He was amazingly well, and all of a sudden he ends up in police custody and caught pneumonia some magical way and then passed away. So he was telling me all about this and I was like, wow, okay, who is Dr. Sebi? Let me go check it out. Dr. Sebi is I won't say homeopathic, it's more like holistic doctor. He has really found a way to help people live their best life by eating natural foods, and he's really like all the way back down into like what actually are GMO foods and which ones aren't. Hybrid foods that aren't really full of nutrients, that have been genetically modified somehow so that they don't have any seeds, like bananas, the way they are now, genetically modified, and I did not know that. Obviously grapes, genetically modified because you don't have seeds no more. How are they supposed to procreate, people? And then stuff like garlic. Garlic, from what I understand, is a hybrid as well. I did not know that. So there were a lot of things that I needed to learn, and I started cutting out things that were not good for my body. I started going a little more alkaline, which was good for me, right? But it's also a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's totally worth it. So when I have more people in the house and not as much money, I need to adjust and figure out how I can make sure that we eat so that we are full and it's flavorful and everyone's satisfied. And then after that, on the back end, I'll try and take care of my digestion, which is dumb. Anyway, but the point being that it made me start thinking. I did not realize that I could choose between the things that I buy based on price. And I was over here thinking, healthy is more expensive. It's a lot cheaper to just get the stuff that, is processed and has, 3-in-1 mixes or whatever. But I was wrong. I just happened to notice my receipts from cold storage the other day. And yeah, cold storage is a little more expensive than NTUC for the most part, but that's because I know I can get quality food there. I'm not sure I trust the meat at NTUC. I'm sorry. Like, I love you guys, but yeah, if I'm going to get pork or anything, I'm going to trust cold storage before I trust NTUC. But that's my personal preference. I'm not saying it's bad or not. It's my personal preference. Anyway, so looking at my receipt, and I realized that to buy a bag of coffee. Now, at the moment, I happen to be drinking, what am I drinking? Nescafe white coffee, the packets. And for someone who's lactose intolerant, I'm over here drinking powdered milk. Because, it's 3-in-1, right? It's got the sugar, it's got the coffee, it's got the milk. Not good for me, but it's flavorful, it's tasty, and it's something that I can whip up really quickly and eat something in the morning. So I drink coffee and I eat digestives. I dip my digestives in my coffee and I eat it. So I was thinking, yeah, you know what? It's worth it because it's like 30 satchels of this coffee mix or whatever. Not 30, I think it's more like 15, for about $6.50. And then I was like, yeah, I really want smoothies. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be able to, fix my digestion. And I was looking at how much it would cost to buy a tub of Greek yogurt. Guess what? $6.50 for 15 sachets of 3-in-1 coffee, right? It's $8.95, I think, for a tub of yogurt. But here's the difference. The yogurt is actually going to be enough for me to make, I don't know, maybe 10 smoothies. So it's almost comparable, 10 to 15, 10 smoothies, 15 sachets of coffee, whatever. And then, of course, on top of that, I would need digestives for the coffee. And on the side of the smoothies, I would need the fresh fruit and some juice. Now, lately, I have been doing 1 part yogurt, 1 part juice, 1 part frozen fruits so that I can get that smoothie consistency. And yeah, it costs a little bit, but if I really think about it, I could buy ready packed frozen fruit for about $6 to $7, or I could buy punnets of blueberries and strawberries and raspberries and stuff for about $5 each and freeze them my damn self. Either way, I'm going to get the fruit quotient that I need anyway. It's going to add into the ingredients of the smoothie, so it's almost like 2 birds with 1 stone. But I didn't realize that the prices were so comparable. I was over here telling myself that one was more expensive than the other. It's just easier if I just get the coffee, it'd be all right. You just get the coffee. But I also didn't realize how much that affected me. So I was over here paying attention to the receipts, and then after that, I was paying attention to how my body feels after I drink the coffee. I love coffee. I don't drink it for the caffeine quotient. I drink it for the flavor. Don't ask me why I'm weird. But I also realized with the coffee, I was adding in 3 teaspoons of sugar. And by the end of it, like after I finish my morning coffee and then I drink water for the rest of the day, I don't really drink much of anything else that's flavorful. I just drink water the rest of the day. What I realized was when I go pee, I smell nothing but coffee, which means the chemicals in the coffee are so strong that it's affecting my entire system. It's still coming out when I pee. Even if it's like several times throughout the day, I still smell coffee. The other thing is I had this white coating on top of my tongue that kind of changed the taste of everything. It's almost like this bitter taste in my mouth, which comes from the amount of sugar that I was drinking as well. And technically coffee is a bitter. but I didn't realize how much that affected me. So every morning when I brush my teeth, I don't know about y'all, but I have a copper tongue cleaner, which I will scrape across the top of my tongue so I can actually remove all of the gunk that's on my tongue, so I can taste my food again, so I can actually feel quenched after I drink water. It changes everything, I'm telling you. But bottom line is, I didn't realize how much I was able to heal my body and at the same time destroy all of it. So getting back to Dr. Sebi, I learned about him, I learned about my digestion, how much it affects my skin. I fixed my skin, and what I actually did at one point in my life was buy some supplements from Dr. Sebi. Great stuff, perfectly awesome. But the beginning of my journey with him was really difficult because my body was so used to, you know, chemically manufactured vitamins that when I took this stuff that he was selling, it was very, very pure, and it made me sick first because my body wasn't used to it. And so I had to reduce the dosage and not take it as often until I finished the container. But guess what? It reset everything. And at that point, my body was used to high quality food versus low vibrational, low quality food, and I couldn't take it anymore. But at the same token, what I realized was the reason I got sick in the first place is because I was taking the vitamins, right? And I was still eating junk food. How do you fix anything like that? And I think it's like metaphoric for a lot of us in life. We want to work out and have a great feeling body and a great looking body. But what we put into our bodies also affect the way that it looks. And we forget about that. So on one hand, this is like ideal example of one hand not knowing what the other hand is doing. One hand is trying to fix and the other hand is still destroying. So how do you live with that? That's a lot of chaos on your system. I like to remind people that, you know, when you eat outside sometimes and it messes up your stomach, like if you go to Taco Bell, you know it's going to give you diarrhea or whatever. You realize that after you go to the bathroom, anything you eat, your body's in panic mode, is ready to like dump out immediately because just in case you're poisoning her again. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to consider. I didn't realize how much of my life was push and pull, how much of my life I was trying to fix and destroying at the same time. My sleeping habits, right? I want to work hard. I want to have energy. I want to, you know, build this empire and stuff. And then I go to bed at like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, get up at 7 and pull the whole day through again, wondering why I have low energy and feel like shit. And of course, if you feel like low energy, you have cravings, right? You have cravings for sugar. You have cravings for salt. And it's because your body is missing those electrolytes, is missing some of those nutrients, but because your brain is used to snacking, you reach for the quick fix. And that's not good either, because it's going to mean there's going to be a crash. It's going to mean there's going to be like, you know, blood pressure increases, insulin spikes, stuff like that. So I didn't realize how much I was building and destroying at the same time. I think I could probably extend this example out to social media as well. Like, yeah, you build these beautiful, you know, web pages, you have, you know, gorgeous artwork, it looks really seamless, it's easy to use, it's user friendly, and then you have pieces of text that you've forgotten to fix that have like, I don't know, Latin in them, and people are basing everything on first impression. Of course, they're looking at you like, what the hell is this? You know, your website looks like this? Like, good God, can you fix it? So you're almost shooting yourself in the foot. You've got all this great content on your Instagram page, but you don't post very often. Or people respond to you, but you don't respond back to them, and you wonder why your engagement is so low. You're not picking up new followers. So there's a lot to consider. And unfortunately, some of us aren't willing to give up the things that actually hurt our progress, that hinder our progress. A lot of times you got these people that, you know, work out, macros, macros, macros. You know, they're eating to build up their abs. You're cutting, you know, liquids and extra nonsense or whatever. They're fasting. They're doing everything possible. They get to this goal, and then cheat day comes and they undo all of it in one cheat day sitting. And it's crazy because they don't realize exactly how much they've undone. It just feels good to cheat one time. So long story short, I'm trying to figure out where I can stop hurting myself and what I'm willing to start letting go of, because I'm going to spend the money regardless, right? I could buy coffee and then buy donuts afterwards, and it would still be about the same amount of money that I would spend on yogurt. And if I could just get the discipline down, if I could just make the right choices when I'm in the moment at the store buying stuff, I know that I can create the kind of lifestyle that kind of supports a healthy immune system and a healthy, sleep cycle. Like, there's a lot to consider there. But I don't know about you. I'm still in the learning process. I've built it up once before. I got to a place where I didn't have extra snacks in the house. I didn't have anything in the house that I wouldn't eat. I did not buy extra junk. And at the moment, with all these people in the house, I don't have that kind of luxury, but I still gotta stay away from that stuff. I still have people sending me, goodies because they want me to taste test and they want me to do reviews, and I'm happy to do them. But at the same time, everything in moderation, I gotta really watch my body because, y'all, I'm not even 40 years old yet, and this body still has to last me another 50 years. So I gotta take care of it. And if I'm gonna keep up with my kid, this is gonna have to become a priority. So I don't know about you. Check your lifestyle. Look at what your choices are and see how much of your good choices you're undoing with your bad. See how many of your bad habits you might be able to let go of because you need to let go of them. It's important, especially if you're going to progress in life. So I love you guys. Let me know what you think of the content, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.